I got off of the fourth rappel and I was walking through this beautiful white sand, and I'm realizing no one's ever been here before. I'm it.
If you say we're going rock climbing, you're going rock climbing. But the description for canyoneering would be we're going hiking, wading, swimming, rock climbing, rappelling, over waterfalls.
Oh, this is working really quite well.
We used to call it gorging. We thought that's what it really sounded like, is you're going down a narrow gorge, and we'd get sandpapered.
Oh, shit. That worked. I see some places we can build an anchor or something. That looks like we're in business.
People ask me all the time, do you have any canyons out there you don't discuss? And I say, no, I'm trying to make a living at this.
But then I see students in panic mode that just go like this.
I want to give you the skills so you can enjoy canyoneering for your lifetime.
Safe and efficient solutions, right?
Don't pull yourself up too hard and knock your head. I knew that there was so much more out there, and finding what was online, there was a drive to want to see it firsthand.
I'm not sure where I'm going.
Most of us that say we want adventure are secretly hoping we don't find it. This is the smart person side of the road. This is the stupid person side of the road.
Going down a canyon is easier than going up a mountain. All you have to do is rappel. We knew that people would get into canyons and get in trouble.
I'm going to say that it'll probably be my most difficult canyon to date. What am I getting myself into?
How bad is that?
What am I going to be doing? You know, risking great injury if I were to fail. Are getting slippery here. Whoa. Steve! So there's only one real knot that you need to use, that you need to know. It's the go-to, it unloads real easy. It's called figure 8, okay. And it's very similar to your regular overhand knot, just like that, the pretzel knot. It's very close to that. But you don't want to use a pretzel knot, because once you load it, it's really hard to undo. Once it's tight, you'll be standing there fidgeting. When you have cold hands in a canyon, it goes out the window. So what a figure 8 is you make the loop like you would an overhand knot, but instead of pulling it straight through, you go around the top and then go through. Pull and it gives you a nice infinity symbol. So I'll show you that again. Make the loop, but do not go through. First go around the top and then go through. That's just a figure 8. Now that by itself doesn't really do anything for you, but you'll use it in the figure 8 follow through, which we'll do in a minute. The one that you'll tie the most often and the quickest, and you can tie this in the middle. So to make the actual knot where you can clip into it, or you can use the knot as a stopper and an anchor, which you'll see when we're in the canyon, is you do the same thing, but with 2 ropes, just bent over. So you make the loop, but instead of going straight in, you go around the top, then in. Make sure it's all nice and pretty, the ropes line up and not bent over each other, and there you go. Now you can, this is a big enough knot that it won't get caught in a D-link or an anchor or anything like that. You can use it in a crack if you need to. And once you pull, or you start pulling on it, it's loaded, it will never unload. Okay. Now what's nice about this, what makes it different than that overhand, is that when you're done with it, even if it's been fully loaded, you just bend it and these knots slide open. And it's really easy to undo. Okay, watch. You just fold it over, so you got your loop.
Yep.
Nice, clean. tuck it around the back, and then through. Doesn't really matter where you tie it. You can tie it mid-rope for using a stopper knot and stuff like that. Nope, there's a problem. Straight in there.
So I'm just having this much as my,
And this is what you tie onto.
okay.
This is what will go in onto your hard point, or this is what you'll put your twist lock carabiner on. Or if you're using it as the stop knot, when you put the rope through the anchor,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll pull enough out to tie one of these knots, and then when you pull back, it'll stop in the anchor,
Okay.
and then you rappel down this side,
Right.
because this is on the other side of the anchor now, holding the
Right.
rope. So the other thing that we're going to do, this is actually only 2 knots, but it's the same knot. It's just if you need to, like, say you need to tie it onto a tree or something, you can't do this overhand, this double one, because how are you going to get the tree in this hole?
Right.
Right? So you need to learn the figure 8 follow through, which is what we started with, where you make sure you got a good enough amount of rope. You make your regular figure 8 on a single line. Okay. And you go like this. Wrap it around whatever you're trying to attach to. You find where your original rope is,
Mm-hmm.
and you just follow it back. You retrace your steps.
Okay. And then it looks just like the folded over figure 8.
Yep. Now you'll use this for if you need to tie it off on a tree or something, okay? You can also use it for inside the rope bags that these ropes are in.
Right.
There are 3 different loops. One, you'll see this when we stuff. One is for attaching your harness to stuff, and the other is for attaching the rope, and it's on the side of the bag. So that's what you'd use this for. Alternately, you can just make a figure 8 and carabiner it to that inside loop, but it does need to be attached to the bag. Otherwise, when you throw it, and it's in flowing water, and the rope runs out, your bag might hit the water and float away. So you need it to be attached.
Right. That'd be pretty not good.
Make sure you have a long tail, because this is a big post. So the first knot we did was called the double figure 8, and this is called the figure 8 follow through. Now you need to know this because who knows, you might end up high somewhere where we can't get to you,
Okay.
and you need to tie your own knot. One second, give myself more slack so I can show the camera.
So we're making our figure 8 again.
So make your figure 8 using my foot as the anchor or whatever I'm tying it onto. And then this line, which is this line, you find it right here, and you take this line and you just follow it back through.
Like we did with the tree branch.
Like you just did. There. Now there's a loop around a hard point. Imagine this was a tree, a rock, something big that there was no way to get or attach the rope to. So you need to make a knot, put it around, and then make another knot on it. And no matter how hard you load this thing, in the end, you just bend it down, loosen it here, bend it down, loosen it here, and this guy will unload. So once you get good at it, you can do it. Oh, go on. You can do it pretty quick. Make sure the ropes are pretty. And the double should be able to whip out real quick. Done. Now, I usually make people practice the figure eight follow through with their eyes closed, so that you can do it in the dark. You can do it without a headlamp, so you don't need to see.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to have the camera on for that, but that's the thing.
Oh, see it?
Oh yeah! Woo! Good thing I've got all these flotation devices. So I imagine I've got this on, right? Kind of. Gotta use the D-ring. Come on. I have it in like the...
Where's your sling? Oh, I already threw your pack.
Yep.
Well, Matt can demonstrate. Matt, would you like to hook into the anchor?
Sure.
Shit. So,
Where's the anchor? Oh, there it is.
wait, you still haven't done this?
No, I've done this one. It's, you know, it's been a while. But yeah.
It should have said something like,
Okay. So, this is your rope bag. They're very durable. Before you throw them anywhere, anytime, you yell, rope bag. Now, most of the time, you'll be dealing with big falls that you don't know the bottom of, or how deep the drop is.
Mhm.
So you'll take your rope and you'll pull it out to the halfway mark, and then you'll put it through the sling, the anchor up there. Here, stand here. Those two bolts tied together, and then a D-link. A D-link is that piece, that metal piece in his hand right there. You put the rope through that, pull half of your rope, and then you throw the rope.
through the D-link.
Yeah, you pull halfway through. So
Yeah.
this 200-foot rope, 100 feet on one side.
Got
Throw the rope, and then you take the bag and you throw the bag. And if you hear the bag hit the bottom, then you know that you have enough rope. If not, then you need another rope and you lengthen it, and then you use the other rope for a pull.
But you have the rope
We have the rope
tied
right
into your bag.
Yep. However, we know that these first two rappels combined is a total of 50 feet, so we'll only pull to the quarter mark because it's a 200-foot rope.
Okay. You've already marked off the lengths.
Ropes over 250 feet have eighth marks. You just went past one, I think.
Double.
Where? All right, yeah. So the center mark, the middle mark, is one line. The quarter marks are two, and the eighth marks are three.
Okay.
So then he takes the bag. He yells, "Rope bag!"
Rope bag.
And he throws it. And then when he gets to the bottom, he gives himself a little slack, takes the other rope bag, and he throws the rope bag over the hole. The next drop.
Rope bag.
He's going to pull out his extra slack when he gets to the edge so that the line is always taut, so that if he slips or he falls, he'll be loaded immediately. He won't fall 5 feet and then shock. He rappels over the edge. Now when he gets to the bottom, he takes the rope out of his rappel device.
Off rope.
Off rope! And yells off rope.
Okay.
Anytime someone yells rope bag and you're down below, you yell rope bag back up. Anytime someone yells off rope and you're down below, you yell off rope back up, so that we all know that you're off so we can keep moving.
Right.
So you head up there first. Alright, you want to hand me that rope? So you're using a figure eight. Look it closely, get to both of them in frame. There we go. You're using a figure eight, which is very similar to this, the main part of it. Don't worry about this tail, just ignore that that's there. So how do you use your figure eight? Is you take it and you always put it in the back side. So because this is the front, because it has the gate on it.
Right.
So you put it in the back side so that when you get to the front, you can twist it, open it, put it in, clip. That's it. Now you're secure. Then you pull out as much slack as you can to get up to the anchor. So you just hump up there, and this is your brake hand. You always want this line to be tight. Always, always tight. If it's not tight, things can mess up. This can get turned sideways or underward. Or if you look at yours, it can fall down here and get turned like this.
Mm-hmm.
So you always want the rope tight through here.
Okay.
You never want to unload your figure eight. Oh, after you're up there, then it's time to rappel. This is your brake hand. All you have to do to stop is pull down, and the friction going around your figure eight device and your carabiner, your twist lock carabiner, will be what stops you. At that point, you just walk out and then walk down. You want to keep your feet higher than lower. You don't want to try to stand down the wall or walk down the wall. You want to have your feet pretty much in front of you like you're sitting, and you just shimmy down step by step that way.
Letting out slack as I go.
Yep, letting it out in your hand. Now Matt's down below. He's doing what we would call a fireman belay, where later I'll show you how to use a prusik. But with a fireman belay, you can rope in. So with fireman belay, if in case you drop the rope and you start falling, all he does is pull down on the rope and you stop. He's essentially a second left hand for you, or right hand, or whatever side it ends up being on. And it's closed and locked. So then face the wall. Here.
So this is going to keep me stopped.
Nope, you see how it slid down? It needs to be at the top. Just a little bit of slack. There. Okay, now face the wall and pull out slack as you walk towards the anchor. On belay. So pull up pull, okay, face the wall, and pull out the slack with this hand. Pull up,
Pull up.
like, put this down. Pull slack. There you go.
I
just like
gotcha.
that.
So I'm gonna hop down there.
Get closer. As much as you can get out, get out. Okay, next time before you drop, get as close as you can. Like, get it, if you can get it to touch the anchor, get it to touch the anchor.
All
And
right.
then, your hand is always down below. It's down at your hip.
Okay.
It should always be like at your ass cheek. Never here, unless you need to shimmy around something.
All right.
Because if here, there's no torque on the top of your figure eight. The
Okay.
rope will just run through. But down here, it's torqued on 4 sides.
Got it.
Okay. So then you just
Coming down.
rappel down.
I'm just following this all the way through.
Yep. You're gonna need to give yourself a little bit of slack in that rope. So you can find that shape.
Should I toss my bag? Or keep it on? All right. All right, coming down.
On the way.
Ooh.
It's even more fun when you get in the bottom and you can't touch and you're just like kind of floating and kind of hook everything.
So I need to get off of this rope.
Yep, make sure what's that?
I need to get. Should I pull it through or
Okay,
unhook it?
give yourself some slack.
All right.
And then you're going to want to unhook it, but make sure you leave your descender attached to your carabiner so you don't drop it.
Oh, gotcha.
It's
It's
higher
a
right
little
over
bit higher
there.
over here, yeah. Thanks.
There you go. Now that you're off rope.
Off rope.
And then you can stay here, fireman. But you just keep your arm on it, keep your hand on the rope.
Which one?
Both of them. And then if he starts falling, you just pull down. And it doesn't take that much pressure to lock him off.
Gotcha.
Make sure you don't put tension on it while he's actually rappelling.
Okay.
Otherwise you'll lock him off and
That's no bueno.
he'll get angry.
Oh man, you weren't kidding. I could go for a pee right now.
Yep.
Pull myself up.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world, Miles. Those who pee in their wetsuits and those who lie about it.
You good? Good. All right. Should I hang around in this pond, or just start moving on? And then you just pulling the rope through and loading it back into the bag, right?
Yep.
Cool.
There are always 2 carabiners in a bag. One on the outside to put the handles together, and one on the top inside loop.
What's their
The one on the
purpose?
top inside loop comes up here or onto your harness. And then you take another carabiner that you just have hanging around, like that guy, and you either put it here or here. You take the rope, put it like that. Now, if your rope is already wet, and you're committed to having a wet rope for the rest of the canyon, when you pull your rope from the top, drop it into the water, and that way when you do this, it won't get coiled. It won't get knotted and kinked. Another thing is that when it's in the water, you're not having it on the sandy stuff, so you're not coating your rope with sand.
Right.
Because that will eat through. Like if you look at your figure eight, that's all from sand. That's not just from the rope. Same thing on your carabiner there, that little nick. Canyons are really, really, really tough on gear. That's why I've got these with knee pads. We've got what looks like diapers. They're called scuttlebutts. They protect your wetsuit and your ass for when you're sliding around. That's why I'm wearing a shirt, so that when the rope runs over it, if it does run over it, it doesn't burn a hole in my wetsuit. All right, when you get to the end, if you know you're done for the day with this rope, you put it through here and you tie it off. And that's so that it doesn't get lost in there, so you don't have to pull out the entire bag looking for the end.
Right.
But if you know you're using your rope again, as we do, since it's the only one we brought, you tie it to the outside so that you don't need to do anything inside the bag at the next rappel. You cinch it, clip it, drain it, and shoulder. You keep going down. Now if there's a long time between belays or rappels, you can throw it back in one of your canyon packs if it's big enough to handle a rope. And that saves your shoulder, and it makes down climbing easier since you always have hands free. You do have to be careful though, that if you're used to down climbing and scrambling and you're a jumper, the extra 20 pounds or 15 pounds of wet rope and bag in your pack
Throw you off a little bit.
really add up. Okay, hold on. Now on all my gear, I've got these little hooks everywhere. And that's so you can put your belay device on it so you don't sound like a cow going down canyon. Now you want to put this on as well. You always want to have your chest. Yep, you're good. You always want to have it clipped because you don't want your backpack swinging around, throwing you off balance when you're on rappel. Same thing up here. Just to do your chesty as well.
Should I get that ring back from you? One that you used on your chest?
Huh? No, you got plenty. Rope bag. There's a number of ways you can do this. Matt's over there. You got an anchor up here. It's probably pretty old. There used to be one high up. I don't know what happened to it. But Matt and I always go around and then down. So how to run over. So before you step up there, kick your shoes off. Kick the sand off your shoes so that you have grip again.
So I'm going that way or that way?
Doesn't really matter. There's water at the bottom. The farther you gotta go to the right. Yeah.
That's good.
How'd that feel?
Oh, just fine. I'm glad I had the scuttlebutt thing. Nah. That was comfortable. I kind of expected it. That was much more solid than I expected.
Hold on. Turn around. All right. So that slide that you just did,
Yeah.
you did fine. This is for the camera. If you guys are using my shit and my wetsuits, and you slide around without a scuttlebutt on, and I catch you do it, I'm gonna smack you. Wetsuits are expensive. Next time, wear a wetsuit real fast.
I've got a scuttlebutt on.
You do. That's for everybody else. You don't have a scuttlebutt, you down climb. Careful. A lot of times with water is, especially if you had someone who just go through before you, it's very murky. First rope. You got a rope? It's very murky, so you can't tell how deep it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to set this one up.
I'm gonna what?
You're going to set up this rappel.
Alright, I should pull out that little thing that Matt has that I didn't have before.
Yeah, you don't need that here. We'll get that. So this is your sling. It's just a normal sling, but it's all got a bunch of more sods to it. So it's a daisy chain. Now what this is for is this is your anchor. So that if where you tie into the anchor is a little precarious, you clip this onto your harness and then onto the anchor, so that if while you're fucking around with the rope on the edge of the canyon, you don't slip.
Right.
So
or if you do, you got something to catch in.
You only need one carabiner for it, because you go like this and you run it through itself on your hard point. Now, when you're actually on rappel, like you get the rope and you're set, and it's running through your figure eight, nice. You take this off of the anchor and you put it over here on the side on a haul loop. The thing is that these are long enough that your knees can catch it, your foot can catch it, you get stuck on a rock, on a tree, whatever. So you clip it
And shorten it up.
and then put it on the side. However, whenever you're on the anchor, do not ever clip it through both and then onto the anchor. Because of the way it works, like you've seen people do like cat's cradle things where it looks like a giant knot and they pull it and suddenly it's not, it's just a loop. Same thing with this, is that you have a 50-50 chance that what you just clipped might unclip up here if all of these smaller rip out. This sling won't break because this one and how aggressively sewn it is, but these little things here are less than an eighth as strong as this. So if you fall and you shock it, it might pull out of this small little bit of threading. And if it does that, then you have a 50-50 chance that this will just be completely, and whether this hits the ground first or you, who knows. So, head down.
In the meantime, I should put this guy back in here, right?
No, not till you're
Not till I'm up there, or?
down there. So you can see the bottom. So before where I was saying that you just take out enough rope to the halfway point and throw it, and then wait for the sound of it hitting the bottom.
Right.
You don't need to do that here. So you just feed it through the anchor and pull it down until you see it's in the water. And then you throw the bag. Good. Never run it through a handle like you almost did. No, you gotta go through the anchor first.
Oh, fuck. My bad. So this ring is our anchor.
Correct.
Yep.
You want to look at the sling and the anchors that it's hooked to and make sure they're still in good condition.
Okay. Alright, we're in the water. Rope bag.
Rope bag. Okay. There you go. You want that with both hands.
I want this one with both
No.
hands?
Let's let the rope hang. Doesn't really matter. But you definitely always want to have one hand on your belay device when it's loose.
Oh, that's a trick. These are fancy.
Yes, you also always want to clip that shut, because things like to get caught on it, like ropes.
Beards.
Like ropes and beards, is that what you said?
Yep. Okay, you could have used this, but you didn't. That's fine. You'll use it at the next spot.
I figured it was safe enough.
Yep.
Spot.
Now you want to start just about every rappel as low as you can go with as little slack in the rope as possible. So on this one,
This seems a little screwy to me.
that's just, you have to rappel with a different hand. Now you're going to rappel with your right.
Okay.
Right. So get as low as you can and then pull out as much slack as you can. So get low first. Just leave the rope. Let go of the rope. Okay. Get low first. Sit. Okay. Now pull slack. As much as you can. Get your hips up there, a little thrust. There you go. All right. Now swing out or walk out or find your way around.
All right.
Are you standing or floating?
Currently floating.
Okay. Floating disconnect. You got to be very careful, as Matt said earlier, to not drop your belay with this.
Gotcha.
So just lay back, let everything float for you. Don't worry about staying upright. Let go of the other, use both hands. You don't need your top hand on the rope anymore.
All right. I'm just worried about losing the. All right. Off rope.
Top rope.
Aha.
So this would be a good place to clip in.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I'm clipping in with this
Doesn't
guy,
matter, just anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah. Because it's such a short fall, if you do fall on your sling, that just about anything will hold you.
I usually try not to clip into the end parts when they run the rope through. It's just left me jammed up.
Yep.
All right.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Where you don't know how far this next rappel is because you can't see the bottom. So you're going to pull to the halfway point on the rope, throw it, and then throw the bag and listen for the splash.
Okay.
Or the thud. Or whatever's down there, the scream of the tourist below you.
So I'm throwing this end down the hole.
Yep. So pull it until you see the solid black line. You can just throw it. You don't need to do that.
Okay.
Get rid of it. Because this is a clean one. It's not like there's a lot of stuff that can get caught on the way down. Because it's got those nice, smooth edges.
There we go. So we're looking for a solid black line.
Yep.
But just one of them.
Just one. Because the 2 is the quarter mark and the 1 is the half one mark. You just pass the half the quarter mark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope. Halfway.
All right, so you hang on to both ropes with one hand, and then you throw the bag with the other. After you let go. Yep.
Rope bag. I think we got
There
it.
it is. All right. Come up here with that rope. Actually, just hand me the rope under your sling. Okay. Now what I'm using is an ATC. It's a little different than your figure 8. I like the ATC, or I like the figure 8 for new people because you can't mess it up. If you mess it up, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to have too much friction and you're not going to be able to move. ATC, but the problem with the figure 8s is that they coil the rope on the way down. They twist it. Now here it doesn't matter because the bag's down there and they got a loose end and it'll just uncoil as you go. But like when the bag and the rope are on the ground, they just get coiled up. So what you do is you take your ATC, it's got the 2 holes. If you've got 2 ropes, or you just use one if you only got the 1 rope. You pinch it, you put it through. If you've got 2 options, you have to think about what you're going to do. Right now, I don't need a lot of extra friction, so I'll just use the shallow U shape. If you want extra friction that bites harder, then you use the V shape on the downside.
Okay.
So you pinch it, push it through, clip it on, boom. That's it. Now, since I'm the first one down, there's nobody below me, and I don't have a thing, I will show you how to use Prusik. Okay, so prusik and auto block are very similar. I'll show you auto block. Because it's easier to do. So you want to step down here so you can see in the light. Okay. All you do is you take the prusik, it's attached here. You just wrap it at least twice. And then you clip it, undo carabiner, it's in the same spot. Now what that does is if I start to fall, for whatever reason, and this stretches out here, this will go up and it binds. So this will keep me from falling. If I slip or if I need to hold on and like do something on a wall or something. This auto block will lock up here. To undo it, you just pull down on it. You just need to keep the tension off of it.
Okay.
So you can use that also as a way to take a lot of the friction off of your glove, is that you're putting some of the friction onto your auto block. But mainly, you just need to keep it loose. Now, if I go down again, you'll see it moves up and then locks. Now, the only thing you have to really worry about with these is that if they're too long or you don't wrap it enough times, it'll move up and it'll hit your belay device. When it gets to the belay device will keep it from locking up because it won't be tight. So it's useless. So you need to wrap it tight enough so that there's a few inches between your belay device and where it ultimately can reach.
Either that or your belay device will eat it and then it's jammed for good.
Yeah, this guy will just push it down, but on a figure eight it might suck it in.
Okay.
And then you're stuck on the wall and you have to have someone come with a rope and cut the prusik or auto block off. Now that can change, it might look good, but then if I do something like turn to the right and like give it a little bit of extra room to come up, if I turn to the right, not knowing that it's there, it might reach up, hit it, and go. So you got to pay attention to it. It's not a catch-all, it's just a safety tip. So that said, I just go over the edge and just keep it down here and keep it tight and keep most of the friction on my gloves. Now, this is one of those where it looks like the water flows this way, and it does now, but a long time ago. Like, gravity's going to want to take you down. So always go where gravity wants you to go. Usually, like 90% of the time, that is where the water is. Like, stay in the water course, because that's usually where gravity is. Here, gravity is over there. So once you get down here,
you're going to swing
around
out
the side instead of going down here. If you get down here, gravity's pulling you this way, you're going to swing out and smack something, and it's not going to be fun. So there's nobody below me, so I don't need to say on the land, just go.
This stuff's too cool.
Yeah, I think this features. I think this part's called Eagle. I don't remember for sure though. Off-rope!
Got it. Off rope, or what do I say?
Yep. Yeah, off-rope. You can set it up so you're repelling with your other hand depending on what you want. So you have to flip it over.
That's good enough.
Okay.
So when I get what's that?
That's why you always yell on belay before you commit to going. Make sure whoever's down there is actually paying attention to you and not the camera, the weather.
Am I supposed to be waiting for him?
Yeah, you have to wait.
What's he supposed to say when he's done?
They'll probably yell at that you can go.
So I'm still trying to get up as close to this thing as possible, or am I?
Well, I mean, if you can put your weight on it and not drop, the reason you want to get as low as you can and take all the slack out is so there's no slack, so you don't drop, so you have control, release in the
Right.
propel. And see here, since you're below the anchor and you've got your slack out, all you have to do is let it out as you kind of move around the edge, and you'll stay in control. There's no dropping or swinging.
On rope. On belay. On belay. What's that?
Okay.
Tits fucking McGee. Woo! That shit is cold. Up rope. But I'm kind of tangled up in it. All right. Clear. What's that? Gotcha.
You're on your own.
Chapstick, anyone? See, leaving garbage around.
No, you're letting go.
Sorry.
So you get ready to do this.
I get ready to load the bag. Can I start doing it or?
Not till he's off. Oh, hook it up to your harness and
Oh, that's
your
right.
chest ring. Put this out of the way. You should put this out of the way before you start your rappel. Finger's not working too well?
I'm just not used to how these things work.
Push down.
It was a shitty spot.
Okay, hook it up to your harness first. No, the bag. So you open the bag. No, higher. Use the, okay, yeah. Use the inside one and put it up here. If you put it too low, you're just bending down anyway.
Gotcha.
Okay, put it down backwards. Or twist it, I should say. Okay, fold down the top. This, hold this down.
Oh, gotcha.
Just push the rope on it. There you go. Now I'll try and pull it. Okay, look up. See the glass of the rope going up. Pulling easy, pulling fast. All right. Good pull. Sorry. No, I have to keep moving. You can go if you want, Matt. What's that? You can go if you like.
Sorry about that. Candy bars.
Miles, they're killing the environment.
They taste so good.
Oh, it's gonna be cold!
Shove. Three-quarter. I don't know if the floater here, we just filled it. So I don't know if it's going to be a swim or a walk.
That's why I said away, I don't want to sit in that anymore. Feel that little breeze? That little chilly breeze, Miles?
Yeah.
You got to take it off you first.
That breeze never stops.
So since we're going to use it again in short order, we tie it to the outside, not the carabiner, the outside handle.
This guy.
Here.
Oh. Just any little nut.
Yep. Just saying. I was thinking about that earlier.
That song?
Yeah.
We must away.
Okay. Now the next part is usually swimming in Pine Creek. But when we were here 2 weeks ago, there was enough sand that slowly trickled in over the winter without getting flooded out that we were able to walk the whole way. But for swimming, we're waiting. I'll show you a trick to the rope bag because, like I said, the best way to swim with Josh packs on is to be on your back. Just use your arms. So you can't have one of your arms hanging under the rope. So if you're the one doing the rope bag and you got to swim, tip up, put it on your carabiner and start to float.
Okey-dokey. God, that's beautiful.
If you ever look up with your head and not your eyes so that you get the camera to see. Look at that log jam way up there.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you. So this is why the canyons are so dangerous, is that if you get caught in here in a flash flood, look way out. See that log jammed up there?
Yeah.
That means that at one point, that log got flooded up there.
It was that high up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, this is all swimming, and but that's because as soon as you get a really big flood to come through here, really powerful one, all the sand that slowly built up over the winter from trickling
washed
water
away.
gets washed away, and you wouldn't be able to be walking right here. A thing to remember: before you throw the bag the first time, or you throw your own backpack, is make sure that you got the foam in it. Sometimes people, assholes that they are, take the foam lining out of these rope bags and they don't put it back in when they're done. So you throw your bag and it sinks. Oh, wow.
You alright?
Yep, I'm good. It was intentional.
Perfect.
I didn't do that. Thank you.
You can try and squeeze through there.
On the face. Whoa.
The stick or the water?
No, it's just really cool all over my face.
Oh, down my neck. That was unnecessary. What are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll give you these ones, they're better. Keep going.
All right. Thanks, dude. God, it's gorgeous.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
So, funny thing about this big boulder here.
It wasn't always here?
Oh yeah. So 3 years ago, do you remember that video that I posted to Facebook? Scooter and Tots
Yeah.
came out of the